Today we have some horror movie updates on 28 years later, The Invisible Man 2, Terrifier 3, and Stream, a brand new slasher film coming from the Terrifier crew. Now let's get into it! Showtime! Let's get into it, shall we? Universal's Dark Universe has been struggling with box office bombs, including 2016's The Mummy, Renfield, and The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Abigail isn't looking much better either, as it too is unfortunately struggling to make a profit. It really is a shame that these updated versions of spectacular classics are failing to hit with modern audiences. I personally think Renfield and Abigail are on my top 10 list of favorite horror comedies from the 2020s. The one outlier hit here was 2020's The Invisible Man, which somehow turned a massive profit. The latest directorial effort from Saw scribe Lee Winnell was released only a few weeks before the pandemic closed movie theaters for an extended period of that year. Against all odds, the film grossed nearly $145 million against a $7 million budget. The film is so deserving of that success too, it might be my favorite film Lee Winnell has ever directed. That's a really tough thing to say when Upgrade exists, but oh, it's a close race. We just got an update from Cecilia herself, Elizabeth Moss, who says that a sequel is in development. Apparently Blumhouse and Love and Squalor, Moss's relatively new production company, are teaming together to conceptualize a continuation. Talking about this on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Moss says, "We are closer than we have ever been to cracking it, and I feel very good about it. We are very much intent on continuing the story." There is so much to unpack here with a sequel to this version of The Invisible Man. With themes of domestic abuse and manipulation, this reimagining is one of the most anxiety-inducing thrillers of the modern era. I will give a warning about this film though. If you're someone who has personally experienced domestic abuse, you might want to skip this one. It might be a little too heavy for you. Personally, this is one that scares the crap out of me. The idea of someone manipulating your life completely out of your control, ugh. I found certain scenes of this film to be too much for me, and I fall asleep to Terrifier 2 sometimes. I can see why they might have trouble developing a sequel, considering that those themes from the original kind of need to be reinvented for another film. To spoil the ending of The Invisible Man from 2020, this is your chance to leave if you haven't seen it yet. It's been about 5 seconds. See, I saw it on my watch. Our main antagonist is slayed by Cecilia as she wears his own suit to slit his throat. It's a spit in the face of this POS character in an unbelievably satisfying conclusion. There is a problem here though. Without an invisible man, we don't have a story to continue. Considering that the world around this technology was hardly explored in the previous film, I imagine they'll utilize that to their advantage. Who else knows about this suit, and are there others who have been affected by it? Could more dogshit people be harassing folks in an invisible suit, similar to what Cecilia went through in that original flick? There's no word yet on if Lee Winnell will return to write or direct this upcoming sequel, but I think it would be a massive mistake if they didn't get him on board immediately. Lee is no stranger to doing sequels for his respective projects. He wrote the script for 2 Saw sequels and 3 Insidious sequels, one of which he directed as well. I'm sure after he's done reimagining the Wolfman, this might be his next project. As you might remember hearing from previous updates, Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are re-teaming to create 28 Years Later, a continuation to their original film from 2002. The franchise hasn't seen a continuation since 2007's 28 Weeks Later, which some would argue is a better film. I personally prefer Days over Weeks, but both are top 10 zombie films from the thousands, without a doubt. And for the people who are about to actually me in the comments section, yeah, I said zombie flick, it's all the fucking same, dog. They're people who are infected and biting each other and infecting more people. It's zombies, but with extra steps. Like literally extra steps, because they can run fast. We just got a huge casting announcement for the film that adds Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Ralph Fiennes to the list of potential victims of the Rage virus. I first saw Jodie Comer in Free Guy as Molotov Girl, but she's also in Ridley Scott's The Last Duel. Aaron Taylor Johnson kicks ass in Kick-Ass, and more recently the action hit Bullet Train from David Leitch. Solid flick. Ralph Fiennes is a legendary actor who needs no introduction, but horror fans may know him best as Chef Slovik in The Menu, the film that had me going, "Yes, chef," to all of my friends before The Bear came out. We're still in the development phase for the film, so there's no word on plot details or who these actors might be playing yet. Cillian Murphy, however, is an executive producer on the project and is rumored to return as his character from the original film. I would love to see him or Naomi Harris pop up in any of these 3 new movies. Speaking of which, 28 years later is the start of a planned trilogy, and so far Danny Boyle only plans on directing the first film. Alex Garland is said to write the first 2 movies in the series, while Nia DaCosta, who of course directed Candyman from 2021, is in talks to direct the second entry. I'm really excited to see this franchise especially get the requel treatment, considering that we've been on a cliffhanger for 17 years. I want to know what happens next, dog. Let's get to it. From pretty much the same team that brought you the Terrifier flicks comes a brand new slasher flick, Stream, hitting theaters this fall. Iconic Events Releasing brings this start to an all-new slasher franchise to theaters on August 21st of 2024 in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. I have to say, this is one of the films I am the most excited to see this year. Indie horror is my jam, as a lot of you know. Director Michael Levy is an incredible filmmaker who has assembled a killer flick filled with horror all-stars. To name a few, Stream stars Danielle Harris, Tony Todd, Jeffrey Combs, Dee Wallace, David Howard Thornton, and the list goes on. That's just scratching the surface, baby.
Name 5 more.
Felissa Rose, Daniel Roebuck, Mark Holton, Dave Sheridan, Terry Alexander. I can keep going.
Go fuck yourself.
The plot description for Stream reads, when Roy and Elaine Keenan realize their family is drifting apart, they decide that something needs to be done. Roy forces his work to take a back seat and they seize the opportunity to recreate a vacation from their past. A peaceful stay in a quaint hotel is just what they need. However, that is not what is in store for them. With 4 deranged murderers patrolling the seemingly mundane halls, the odds are definitely not in the Keenan family's favor. Michael Levy is an incredibly versatile filmmaker as well. You might have seen him in the first Terrifier film as Will the Exterminator. He gets his head chopped off. I'm incredibly proud to support this film on Indiegogo as well as be a part of the marketing. You might have noticed me in one of the teaser trailers that featured a ton of killer YouTubers and content creators. I'm so excited to see the Terrifier folks branch outside of the world of Art the Clown and create more unique horror flicks. It's a topic that got brought up during my interview with Michael Levy last October. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. Overall, I cannot wait to see this film in August, followed by Terrifier 3 in October. Make sure to see both of these bad boys in the theaters so that we can see more horror flicks from the Terrifier gang in the future. Speaking of Terrifier 3, we have probably the most interesting update of this entire video right here. Last week, the film wrapped production, making fans like me foam at the mouth. Gimme that threequel now, Damien, I need it!
I need it!
Art the Clown fans recently got together to create a petition to release a Terrifier-themed popcorn bucket alongside the movie this fall. With horror movies like Scream 6 and Saw X getting their own popcorn buckets, Terrifier fans feel left out. They want in on some of that action too, and no, I'm not talking about what Dune fans did with their popcorn buckets. At the time that I'm recording this, there are a little over 6,000 signatures, and it needs about 1,500 more to reach their next goal. As you can see here, I've done my part by signing it. Now, on average, these update videos usually get about 3,000 views, so if half of you guys go over to that petition website and sign it, we can all get Art the Clown popcorn buckets to stick our eat popcorn out of. Sign the petition. The link for the petition is in the description below. Make it happen. Do it now, or I'll smear shit all over your bathroom Art the Clown style. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Seriously, sign that petition, y'all. I want to make Damien make us a popcorn bucket. If you don't sign that petition, you smell. You smell really bad. Oh my god, fella, I can smell you from here. Whew! Don't take a shower, sign that petition. Thank you all for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.